LCPS TV. I'm Melissa Flores.
And I'm Joseph Fulbright. It's a beautiful Friday night here in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and we have a matchup of two great teams. The Las Cruces Bulldawgs and the Cueva Bears traveling from Albuquerque today. Both teams are 1-0, coming off impressive victories this past week, and I can't wait to see what tonight has in store for us.
And of course, you're going to be expecting a lot of fun tonight with our pom and cheerleading squad, and of course, our band.
So for the rest of the night, we'll be your sideline reporters tonight. I hope you guys all enjoy this game, and the atmosphere here is crazy, and we're ready to rock and roll. I feel like I cut it off a little early.
Please welcome to the field the Las Cruces High School Junior ROTC. Please rise, remove your caps, and join us for the national anthem as performed by Las Cruces High School. ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the
Not surprisingly. A legal shift. A wedge breaker?
No, I was never fast. The kickoff team or the kickoff return team, usually both the return man and the ball, would definitely beat me down.
That's a thankless job, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was more inclined to just keep the chart on the side.
Bulldogs decline the penalty. The incompletion stands at 2nd down and 10 from the 28. Good snap to Cueva. Now he's scrambling right. No receivers inside. He'll tuck it 30-35 out of bounds on the Bulldog sideline, which is on the western side of the stadium at the 37. A yard shy of a first down. He picks up 9 on the ad-lib scramble.
Bo Kujath, quarterback, is 6 foot, 170-pound senior. And shows us here on his first opportunity to run that he does have a little bit of speed and mobility.
3rd down and a yard to go for La Cueva. The ball at their own 37-yard line. They need the 38 for a first down. Wide receiver to each side, slots to each side, and an ace back. They hand to the fullback straight ahead. He's grabbed by one of the Bulldogs. That's Murillo, but he works his way for 2 for a first down at the 39-yard line. So move the sticks. It's a gain of 2.
Yeah, just a simple fullback dive right up the middle, but they only needed a yard and got about a yard and a half.
So it's 1st and 10 for La Cueva. And the ball is at the Bear 39-yard line. They split their fullback out in a slot to the left side. He's wearing a number that's not in our rosters that we've been provided tonight by La Cueva. Ace back there, pitch it to him. It's a little behind him, makes a nice catch. That's Jones. He's got the 40, goes airborne, leaps over a Bulldog linebacker. He's got the 45, and they're going to rule his progress stopped at the 46-yard line. They never did get him down. It's a gain of 7.
Yeah, La Cueva, left side, did a pretty nice job of turning the corner, blocking on the edge. Got some help from the running backs ahead of the ball carrier, and they did a nice job for about a 6 or 7 yard gain.
2nd down and 3 for the Bears.
So the Bears get themselves into a manageable 2nd down and 3 at the Bear 46-yard line. First down yardage is the Bear 49-yard line. To the I formation. And off to the tailback who never got the handoff, and it's rolling free, and the Bulldogs come up with it at the 48-yard line. Exchange never got made. You know, you work out of the shotgun, and then you go to the regular formation and fumble it.
Yeah, and once again, it was one of those formations where the fullback is lined up pretty close to the quarterback, so he's not going to have a lot of time to see the ball, and obviously it never got into his belly there.
Yeah, and that's the same thing we actually talked about last week with the Oñate game of the fullback being too close, and that's just a really bang-bang handoff, and if you don't get that right, it's going to be a recipe for disaster.
At quarterback for the Bulldogs.
10:30 to play in the opening quarter. So after a first down or 2, they fumble, and the Bulldogs' right end takes off early. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Greg, we're picking up right where we left off when we left on Saturday.
Yeah, we were hoping to do a more penalty-free game. We don't expect no penalties, but we just like it to be a reasonable number. That was right end was Michael Contreras, 5'6" sophomore, 145 pounds, so not a big guy to be a tight end. But Cruces is not as big this year in recent years.
So this moves the Bulldogs back into Las Cruces territory at the Bulldog 47-yard line, where it's 1st and 15. First down yardage is at the La Cueva 38-yard. Bulldogs all take off early again. Now, Cameron Miller is complaining to the referee saying, hey, the defense is doing this to us. They're calling out signals, and they can't do that.
Yeah, I'm down here. They're yelling. They're calling shift, which is not. I mean, they're shifting over, and so Cruces is. They just got to focus. That's not one of the calls that Cruces makes when they snap the ball. So they just got to dial in and focus here.
It was interesting that as soon as the lineman jumped, Cameron Miller immediately did turn to the official there. So he thought something wasn't quite right.
Jim Miller wants an explanation. 1st and 20 for Las Cruces at the Las Cruces 42-yard line. Good snap to Miller, hands off to Cheeto, and he's off to the races into the 3rd level across the 50 and down to the Bear 45. They needed so many yards that it isn't enough for a first down. It's 2nd down and 7, but he picked up 13 on his first carry of the game.
And last week, coming up, opening game as a starter, Cheeto Molinar. Actually, his name was Hunshiro.
It's Cheeto.
Cheeto, yeah.
I like Cheeto better.
But he averaged over 10 yards a carry, so he had an auspicious first game.
2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. High snap to Miller, firing long far sideline. McIntyre's open, but the pass too long. It's incomplete.
Well, that was kind of the problem last week in the Montwood game, is that Cameron Miller was not spot on with his accuracy to his receivers, and I speculated it was because he was dealing with a lot of new guys. But Isaiah McIntyre is a guy he's been throwing to now for a couple of years.
And that's just a bad pass. That ball was heading right towards the sideline. If he throws that ball back towards the middle of the field, McIntyre can run under it.
He had a couple of steps on his man for sure. 3rd down and 7 for Cruces. The ball at the La Cueva 45-yard line. La Cueva defense lost Cruces about as well as anybody did last year. The tight end on the right side for Cruces jumps again. 15 yards in procedure penalties. And Cameron Miller talking to Ed Hessel again, trying to get him to do something about, I guess, La Cueva barking out some signals. But we got Brad Beasley down on the sideline, and he's indicated that Cruces should be handling this better than they are.
Yeah, see, that's one of those I think that Cameron Miller's got to go back and say, all right, we're just going on no sound. Just, first is what we're going to go on. And just not worry about running through their normal cadence right now, just because it's their line's not focused in. And it's really on the edges, so they're the ones furthest from the ball and from Cameron as well.
The little things that can drive you crazy. 3rd down and 12 for Cruces from midfield. Blitz is on, they pick it up. Miller steps up, fires into traffic, and the pass batted away at the La Cueva 32-yard line as he tried to thread a pass into Isaiah McIntyre. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Lucas Silver was the defensive back on that. Cornerback came in from the sideline and got a hand in. That made a nice defensive play.
So a 3 and out for Las Cruces, a lot of it to do with 5-yard penalties. They ran one good clean play, which normally would have got them a first down, but it was 1st and 20. And they picked up 13, so they don't get a first down. And now Cruces to kick it back with the wind at their back.
And frankly, none of those penalties were close calls. They were clear violations.
Miller is the Bulldog punter. He gets it away quickly. Tries to win an Academy Award by taking a flop, but that didn't work. I think he overdid it a little.
The Bulldogs don't seem to be very focused on there. That time they let one of the La Cueva players, number 5, through just completely untouched. And that's what forced that.
After 2 possessions to start the game, it's all been defense so far today. And penalties, as Cruces High has really struggled so far out of the gate. We'll see if they can turn it around and hopefully get a quick score in this game and take the lead.
Down and 10 for La Cueva. The ball at their own 25 after fumbling on their last possession. Jones back in at the ace back spot, takes a pitch headed to the short side of the field, looking for some room to maneuver as he's running out of room on the boundary and steps out at the 27-yard line, gain of 2.
Well, it's rare indeed that any team makes a lot of yards around the edge against Las Cruces Bulldog defenses because they fly to the ball so well. They get good pursuit and they gang tackle, and so it's not surprising that when La Cueva Bears try to run wide, don't get much from it.
Bulldogs defensive ends played well last week. Delgadillo and Murillo, they're standing up. 2 down linemen. Bulldogs creep their linebackers up, hand up to Jones. Jones straight ahead, punches it to the 30 for 3 more. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 5. The ball marked for play at the Bear 30.
So we're seeing a variety of offensive formations from La Cueva, and they're allowing situation substitutions, bringing in 3 or 4 players here with the down and distance. So we'll see what they have in mind for the Bulldogs this play.
So it's 3rd down and 5. The ball marked for play at the La Cueva Bear 30-yard line. Chris Campbell comes wide to the right, joined by 2 other receivers. 1 receiver to the left side. Now they motion into a balanced twin set, and the snap's a little high. Kujath up to get it, runs out of time as the Bulldogs are blitzing, and the pass out of bounds, incomplete. Intended for Noah Hill, but no chance for Hill to make the catch. Bulldogs are blitzing. Snap was a little high, and the quarterback Kujath barely had time just to catch it and get rid of it.
Yeah, they got good pressure up the middle that time, and Kujak was kind of throwing off his back foot and couldn't get a lot on the ball.
So it's 4th and 5 for La Cueva. The ball is marked for the play at the La Cueva 30-yard line with 8:50 to play in the opening quarter. Punter stands back at his own 15, fields a good snap and boots it away. Decent average kick. Will take a Bulldog bounce and go out of bounds. It hit about the Bulldog 42, went out of bounds at the Bulldog 43. So Cruces basically starts off about 12.
Ty Jordan and outside linebacker, and turning it into a nice gain, 9-yard gain.
So it's 2nd down, less than a yard to go. Cruces has the ball at the La Cueva 20-yard line. Miller calls. Miller fakes a handoff, drops the pass, fires, caught at the 15. Delgadillo at the 10, spun out of bounds at the 9-yard line on the western sideline. It's a gain of 11.
Well, the Bulldogs are showing that they can move the ball if they can avoid those yellow things coming on the ground. When they're not having penalties and basically pre-snap penalties, they're able to move the ball consistently.
McIntyre comes in with the play for the Dogs. 5:21 to play in the first quarter. 0-0 the score, but it's 1st and goal. 1st and goal, the ball's at the La Cueva 8-yard line. 2 tight ends, receiver to each side. Miller out of the gun, sends McIntyre in motion. And they fake a handoff to McIntyre on the sweep. Miller keeps behind right end and gets it to the 6, gain of 2. Cameron with 2 carries, 21 yards now on the Uno stat update. And it's 2nd and goal from around the 6.
And that was actually a blown play. Miller was actually supposed to hand that ball off to McIntyre on the sweep, because as soon as McIntyre didn't get the ball, he turned around and looked like, why don't I have the ball? We saw it before the play. Miller was pointing to the defense and just tried to make his own play. I think sometimes you're better just sticking with what's called sometimes.
4:48 to play in the opening quarter. 0-0 the score. 2nd and goal at the La Cueva 6-yard line. Everybody took off except the center didn't snap the ball. Again, the same problem.
Well, and this makes me wonder if the problem is, in fact, with the center rather than everybody else, because he's not snapping the ball. I mean, you got 4 or 5 guys on the line going, and he's holding it, so maybe that's where the problem is.
Well, centers never make mistakes. So they're the ones that have to start the play. So, but no, I think that there is something going on with the line calls or something like that with Las Cruces and what they're seeing up front.
Penalty moves the Dogs back to the La Cueva 11-yard line. 2nd and goal at the La Cueva 11. 2 tight ends, Miller back to pass. Pumps, now looks left, setting up a screen. Molinar at the 10, Convoy, he's at the 5, he's in. Touchdown, Las Cruces. Terrific patience, and Molinar takes it in untouched. An 11-yard TD pass.
Well, La Cueva was coming with 3 rush men, and actually the 3 rush men recognized it was a screen fairly quickly, because they got past the initial line of blockers and then stopped. They didn't continue going, so they recognized the screen, but Molinar had slipped out into the left flat, and there were no defenders there, and he had some good blocking in front of him and went in untouched.
And that was a great job by Miller, who was actually looking to the right as soon as the ball came out, so nobody saw Molinar kind of squeak out from the left-hand side. So good play call there by the Bulldogs.
Brian Signs to attempt the PAT, and the kick is away. And it's good. 7-0 Las Cruces on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. 4:26 to play in the opening quarter. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
Yanshiro Molinar with the touchdown and leaving Cruces on top 7-0. Let's see if La Cueva can make a comeback.
Welcome. 7-0 Las Cruces. And here is Sainz' kick. It's short and off to the far sideline and is bouncing along nicely right along the sideline, and the Bears could no longer wait to see if it go out of bounds. They had to fall on it, and so they'll start at their own 28.
Well, sometimes the kicker does not get the meat of the ball. That time he got the low edge, and so it just kind of spun out of there a little bit and towards the sideline and didn't have a whole lot of the football in his foot.
Brad Beasley reports to us that Mayfield's taken the lead on El Paso Franklin 7-0 down in El Paso in a meaty matchup. If there were two of me, I'd be at both places. Not every night is it tough to pick which game to do, but tonight was difficult. 1st and 10 for La Cueva. The ball's at the La Cueva 26-yard line. Kujath out of the shotgun. Good snap. Pumps. Now he's going deep. Man's open far sideline, overthrown. They had the freshman beat. Going deep was Jesse Garcia, but Kujath misfired.
Bulldawgs coming with 6 that time, 4 down linemen, 2 inside linebackers, and so he had to get rid of it maybe a little bit sooner than what he wanted to. The receiver had about a step and a half on Baeza, but it was overthrown.
You know, for a team that threw for 300 yards last year, last game, Las Cruces High is not really, I mean, they're not playing zone. They're playing straight up man-to-man right now with La Cueva.
La Cueva to 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Kujath ducks underneath center, pitches to his ace back coming right, runs over a Bulldog, and then is knocked down at the 30-yard line as he goes down in the arms of Julian Molina. It's a gain of 3. I don't have this guy on my roster, do you?
No, but I was just going to say Molina last week led the team with 10 assist on tackles, had 3 tackles for loss, and total tackles of 11 and total defensive plays for 20, which was 2nd on the team. So he's one of the featured defenders for the Bulldawgs.
That ace back is he's wearing jersey number 30. He's actually number 11. He got a little bigger this summer, and the number 11 jersey didn't fit him.
Okay, I don't have a number 11 either. 3rd down and 7 for La Cueva. Kujath back to pass. Kujath now scrambling around, surrounded by Bulldogs, throws it to his lineman, who had it hit him, and then let it drop. Penalty marker flies. The penalty marker is going to be illegal touching on the poor lineman that had the ball thrown at him. That was Matt Ellison.
And I think the lineman didn't know, should I catch it or should I let it hit the ground? But it hit him, which became illegal touching. So there'll be loss of down as well as distance.
Linemen don't get to touch the ball very often, so I think any chance they can get to grab it, that's what they're going to do.
On one roster, I don't have an 11. On the other roster, I have 2 number 11s. Chris Campbell.
Welcome to high school football.
Yeah, every now and then this happens. They provided 2 rosters because they changed up their roster, but it seems like neither one of them's accurate.
I think Campbell is the right name. I think that's what they told me.
Cantwell or Campbell.
Yes.
And then their names are almost the same. It's Cantwell and Campbell.
Yeah, see, that makes sense because they told me it and both sound correctly.
Yeah. Would you mind asking somebody for us? Just, I don't ask the head coach, though.
That's Cantwell.
Cantwell, okay, thank you very much, Brad. I went and talked to their coaches before the game that are up here, but I don't want to bother them now. 4th down and 7, the Bears to punt, and the boot is a what? And it's spiraling, hits at the 41, bouncing around at the 37, dies at the 36. So Las Cruces gets a 3 and out. They were fortunate, though, because the 1st down play, if they connect, probably goes for a touchdown.
Yeah, they looked for Baeza. Now, last week we thought, as the freshman would try to pick on Baeza, but they just treated him like any other player in the field. He had a good game. But here we'll see if La Cueva looks to go against the freshman repeatedly in this game.
So Las Cruces gets the ball for now the 3rd time. Cruces leads it 7-0 on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. 1st and 10 for Cruces from the 36. Option out of the gun, shovel pass. And the tight end, Delgadillo, tripped up at the 40, falls forward to the 42. It's a gain of 5.
Well executed play. He actually had 3 options on that. Shovel pass, or keep it himself, or toss it to the pitch man, and he went with the shovel pass, and it was executed for about a 6-yard gain.
I really like that play design. I really like that shovel pass with the inside option because it's a no-risk deal. If you pitch it and the guy drops it, it's a forward pass and it's incomplete. So I like that play.
I also.
I think Mark Hartshorn even might like it somewhere, wherever he's at tonight. 2nd down and 4, handoff straight ahead. Molinar loose, 45-50. 45 stiff arm and slung out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Another big gain for Cheeto. He's off to a big night again.
Well, we give a big pat on the back there to the left side of his offensive line, and left guard and left tackle opened a nice hole for him. And, of course, being a running back is a lot easier if nobody makes contact with you for about 9 yards down the field.
So 1st and 10 for Cruces, the ball at the La Cueva 39-yard line with 2:35 to play in the opening quarter. Baeza wide to the right for the Bulldogs. Reynolds comes wide to the left. McIntyre slot left. And Miller out of the gun slings it out to Reynolds, catches it at the line of scrimmage, and scoots up the sideline for about 2 to the 37. 2nd and 8.
Aeneas Reynolds last week with 2 catches for 19 yards. So he's a secondary receiver. Was 2nd on the team in catches last week.
2:12 and counting to play in the opening quarter. Sun setting here, no threatening clouds anywhere, at least in the area. So last night a game delayed by lightning twice and ended by lightning. Looks like we're in good shape tonight. 2nd down and 8 for Cruces at the La Cueva 37-yard line. Miller fires underneath, complete, hits his man on the move. Reynolds, he bobbles it and then steps out of bounds. It's a catch. It's the La Cueva 26-yard line, and that's a gain of about 12, 1st down.
Yeah, a little crossing route, right to left, coming underneath. Had a man going deep in front of him to take the defense with him, and then hit him in stride on the crossing route, and nice move the chains, first down.
La Cueva's sitting in that zone, and so those crossing routes are what really works really well when they're back in the zone like that.
1st and 10 for Las Cruces, 2 tight ends. McIntyre takes a handoff, sweeping to the right, uses a block. I kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff.
Holding against Las Cruces. Well, Brad, if you weren't here Saturday, if that happened 39 more times, then it's exactly what happened last Saturday.
I'm glad I wasn't here last Saturday because I would have just left.
It was, what did we have, 40 penalties? Did we?
It was about that, but
I know you've been busy forgetting about it all.
Yeah, I was. That's why I moved, wrote a letter to play soccer time now. 45 minutes first half, 45 minutes second half, running time.
That's twice today you've said soccer, and Mark Hartshorn may break into seizures.
You gonna call me a communist?
Penalty stepped off against the Bulldogs, moves them back to the 30-yard line. I mean, to the 37-yard line. That's 30 yards in penalties. So it's 1st down and 22. The ball is at the La Cueva 37-yard line. Miller back to pass, firing deep, man's open. McIntyre, he has it up the hash, 10-5, touchdown. 2nd TD pass for Cameron Miller, and it's 13-0, Las Cruces with the lead.
Well, perfect timing on that pass and reception, and notice last week, here he's the guy he's been throwing to now for 2 years, and I think that Cameron Miller is more in sync with Isaiah McIntyre than any of his other receivers yet. And I think as the season goes along, he'll get in tune with all of those other guys as well.
And that was just a blown coverage on the with 2 up fullbacks and turn around and hand it to Ronnie Daniels 40 times.
It was a goal line defense, or goal line offense, Brad. You and I did the state championship that year. That was the year that Mayfield and La Cueva had to play on Saturday rather than Friday because of a snowstorm. And it was just so boring because La Cueva was boring, but they were efficient. I mean, the guy had probably all their touchdowns and won convincingly. 2nd down and 6, some pressure coming from Murillo. Kujath's pass incomplete over on the near sideline. It was intended to Jesse Garcia. Kujath is 0 for 4 passing now. And I'm not trying to insult the Old Bears. The Old Bears were a smash-mouth, huge behemoth team with power backs, and when they got a speed back, they used him like Ronnie Daniels. I'll never forget that Mayfield-La Cueva game here, where Mayfield gave up 300 yards rushing to Mr. Daniels, but he fumbled 3 times, and the Trojans upset him.
And Ronnie Daniels has yet to shake hands with any of the Trojan personnel.
3rd down and 6 for La Cueva, the ball at their own 39-yard line. This is definitely a different offense than they used to run. Kujath back to pass. Kujath Now scrambling around, gets rid of it, heaves it deep, throws it up for grabs, and the pass broken up at the 28-yard line. It's incomplete. 3 Bulldogs, almost 4, 3.5 Bulldogs, and a couple of Bears were in the area.
Yeah, Kuja did a nice job of avoiding the rush and getting the pass away, and actually it was a pass that, even if it's intercepted, it acted like a punt because they threw it up deep down the field, but now they'll force the punt.
Talking about the history of this series, Greg and I went up there for number 1 versus number 2 in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. Much anticipated matchup. We got up there and we thought we had gone to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh boy, that was cold. I've been really cold twice in my life. That was one of the 2 times.
Greg's teeth chattered for 3 hours, and Cruces got thumped. 4th and 6, good snap. And the punter boots it away. Near side, it's a beautiful kick. I mean, that was a pro kick. It took a Bulldog bounce after it spiked down at the 29 and went out of bounds way up at the 37. So he got a horrible bounce out of it, did La Cueva's punter Turcotte. So it's 1st and 10 for the Dogs at their own 37-yard line.
Going to end up just being a 29-yard punt because of the bounce that went to Cruces' favor.
Yeah, if that bounces the other way, which it probably does more often than not, they'd be starting inside the 20. So things going Cruces' way here in the first quarter. It's 14-0 Bulldogs with 17 seconds to play in the first quarter. 2 tight ends. The right tight end gets up, and now he'll reset. 2 men in motion at the same time. Cruces having problems getting this play off, and Mark Lopez calls timeout.
Well, twice we thought we had penalties in that play because Delgadillo thought he had a penalty, but they let him reset, which kind of surprised me. And then 2 wide receivers each started moving simultaneously, and so at that point, before the ball was snapped, a timeout was called.
We'll keep it here because we have a timeout coming at the end of the first quarter, and that's in 17 seconds. Brad, La Cueva battles over the years as they try to rebuild this program, and it looks like they're making a move to rebuild it now with that win over Atrisco Heritage. Any special memories over the last 20 years? Of course, you didn't live here for some of them, but any memories of La Cueva and battles with Cruces or Mayfield over the years?
Yeah, I mean, they've always been historic battles. I mean, I go back to the ones that we did on the radio with Ronnie Daniels, and for him for 4 years basically with La Cueva, was just fantastic. And I remember them back in the early 90s when we played, that they were, I think that 91 or 92 La Cueva team could have really competed at some small Division II levels because they were just so good and so big.
1st and 10 for Las Cruces at their own 37-yard line. Fake handoff to McIntyre. Miller straight ahead. He's up to the 45. Lost his balance and goes down at the 48. He thought he might score there, but he lost his balance and picks up 11 instead. One of the things I remember about La Cueva, too, talking to Jim Bradley during the formative years of the Trojan program when he took over in the mid-90s, was he said every year when we play La Cueva, that's the most physical game of the year. We really come out of that thing battered and beaten and knew you were in a battle, and all those games are really good. I remember some interceptions on the last play of the game, some classic games in the playoffs that weren't championships, or the ones that I kind of remember as being really thrilling games. Into the first quarter, Las Cruces 14, La Cueva 0. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
We're through 1 here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces, and your Bulldogs have a 14-0 lead over the visiting La Cueva Bears. Touchdowns from running back Junshiro Molinar and Isaiah McIntyre have paced this Las Cruces offense attack. And the Bulldogs defense has shut down this high-scoring Bears offense. So let's see if they can keep it going. 14-0 is the score. Second quarter is about to kick off. We'll be here on the sideline reporting the latest news all night. Boom.
On a gorgeous night at the Field of Dreams. 14-0 Las Cruces. leads La Cueva in a marquee matchup in southern New Mexico tonight. 1st and 10 for the Dogs. The ball at their own 48. Looks like a corner blitz might be coming. Nope. Handoff to Molinar straight up the gut, and he picks up but a yard. 2nd down and 9. That's the best defense they played on Molinar tonight.
And of course, Molinar's a threat to break one anytime. He's not a big, strong, powerful guy, but he's got a lot of quickness and speed and elusiveness. And with blocking up front, he can turn a small hole into a big gain. Enjoying the breeze tonight. It feels really nice to be out here. Centennial's down at Gadsden. Mayfield's down at Franklin. Las Cruces here at home against La Cueva. And Oñate, a winner last night. They look good against El Paso Eastlake. 2nd and 9, the blitz is on. Miller flushed right, on the move, just gets rid of it and flips it, and it's tipped by a bear and incomplete. Just was trying to get rid of it. It actually landed probably closer to a bear than he would have liked to. Sam Silver was right in the area. Baeza, a receiver, was in the area, and that ends a string of 6 completions in a row, including 2 touchdowns for Miller. Yeah, there were a couple of receivers in the general vicinity, but there were 3 defenders in the general vicinity. The defenders were actually closer to where the ball came down than the receivers. So, 3rd down, 10 to go for Las Cruces. The ball is at the Bulldog 48-yard line. 11:16 to play in the 2nd quarter. 3 wide receivers for Las Cruces. Blitz is on. They pick up the blitz. Miller has time, throws complete to Reynolds. He has it for a 1st down at the 36-yard line of La Cueva. They'll move the chains. And so far, we'd have to say that Cameron Miller is a little bit sharper than what he was in the opener, where he had a number of times where he was just always a yard off, a yard ahead, a yard behind, a yard long, a yard short. But tonight he's having a good connection with his receivers. Just got an update that Centennial leads Gadsden 20-6.
Franklin 6.
1st and 10 for Cruces at the La Cueva 35.5-yard line. Hand off to McIntyre on the flanker sweep. He spun around in the backfield. Now the pursuit gets to him. They never got him down. But his forward progress will be a loss of 5 back at the 40. And it wasn't really his fault. He just took a handoff and was surrounded immediately. Yeah, and there was one of those, to use the old quote, discretion, the better part of valor. He could have tried to retreat to avoid the oncoming rushers, but he realized he was better off, okay, we'll just eat our 5-yard loss and not make sure it's a 10 or 15-yard loss.
And sometimes it just happens. La Cueva had the right defense on for that play. They're slanting to that side. They had the blitz coming from that side. So that's just one of those where you just go down and come back and do a good play for 2nd down. 2nd down and 15 for Cruces. Play action from Miller. Looking over the middle, nobody's open. Now he's scrambling and hit from behind. He didn't see the guy coming and was really pummeled. He did get back to the line of scrimmage, so no sack. Cameron gets up and kind of slaps the guy and says, hey, nice hit. That was Aaron Overacker. And Campbell was there as well. Is it Campbell or Cantwell? He said Cantwell. We're Cantwell.
saying, okay, Cantwell.
3rd down.
Their roster's confusing.
Yeah, I think Cameron thought he had some daylight, might be able to break through there for some yards, but he didn't see the defender coming from behind him. So it's 3rd and 15 for Cruces. The ball is at the La Cueva 40-yard line. Twins to the right with 2 tight ends. Bears have been blitzing their middle linebacker. They leave him home here. Miller sprints right, throws, and is juggled and caught shy of a 1st down at the 35-yard line. Making the catch for Las Cruces, Cody Murillo with a heck of a grab. I mean, he had a guy draped all over it, but it's only a gain of 5. Cody Murillo, of course, a starter last year for the Las Cruces basketball team, had a pretty good year. And now on the football team for the 1st time, but even while he was playing basketball, we thought he's got a really nice football body on him. Apparently Jim Miller noticed as well, huh? Yeah. He's a good athlete. And a good basketball player. 4th and 10, the Bulldogs will go for it at the La Cueva 35-yard line. Miller out of the gun, drops to pass. Miller steps up, fires into traffic, and overthrows McIntyre, double covered on a post route.
Pass is incomplete.
And so the Bulldogs turn it over on downs.
Well, nothing wrong with that call. It just didn't work. But if it's caught, okay, you got a big gain or a touchdown. If it's intercepted, it's better than a punt. And as it is, it's still not real good field position for La Cueva, so I think I'd like to see them go for it on 4th and 10 on their own 35, or on the La Cueva 35.
So it's 1st and 10 for La Cueva at their own 35-yard line to the I formation. Deep man in the I takes a handoff, bounces it left to the short side of the field and knocked out of bounds. After a short gain, Baeza made the stop. Noah Hill on the carry.
Baeza was in on 4 tackles last week, and of course we call his number and name specifically because he's a freshman starting. A true freshman, of course, there's no redshirt freshman in high school, but a freshman starting for the Bulldogs. Listed at 5'6", but I think that's optimistic.
That's with his helmet on and cleats.
Yeah.
He did a good job against Montwood. They tested him once here and overthrew the receiver. 2nd and 6. Handoff, sweep going to the right side. Turns the corner, 40, nice move. 45, 50, 45, and down to the Bulldog 43 goes Javon Jones. Big gain, 1st down La Cueva at the Bulldog 44-yard line.
Well, good execution by La Cueva. As we've said before, it's hard to run wide against the Bulldogs. And they did at that time, got good blocking on the edge, and he made a nice cutback to get some extra yardage.
Jones is a good back. He's done a good job of keeping his feet. That time he got to the edge, just like you said, Greg, and then he just cut it up and made a great spin move and got out of a tackle and got some big yards.
So it's 1st and 10 for La Cueva at the Dog 44-yard line. Pitch to Jones, sprinting left, trying to get to the edge. He can't. The Bulldogs string him out. He did bend it, meaning he never really turned it north-south, but he picks up a couple. Stepped out of bounds at the 42, which is a gain of 2. 31 yards on 5 carries for Jones on the Uno stat update. 8 minutes to play in the half. The Bulldogs 14, the Bears nothing on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. You can tell that this is a much more even matchup for the Bulldogs than they had a week ago, because I think they're playing better, yet the game's closer.
Yeah, and La Cueva has a good, nice variety to their offense. They're attacking a lot of different parts of the field.
2nd down and 8 for La Cueva at the Las Cruces 42-yard line. Snap is high. Quarterback chases it down, grabs it at the 40, and he's got 2 guys on him. And he's ruled down as he tries to get rid of it back at the 37-yard line.
So that's a huge break for the Las Cruces Bulldogs.
21-yard loss.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very tough situation now for La Cueva. So here the Bulldogs just don't want anyone to get behind them. Keep everybody in front of you and make sure it's 4th and long.
Well, Brad, I was just getting ready to remark how much more diverse La Cueva's offense is under this coaching staff than it was under the previous regime, but the previous regime got them to the state championship quite a bit.
Right, but if you look at the offensive line and defensive line for La Cueva, they're significantly smaller than they have been in the past.
3rd down and a country mile. Looks like 3rd down and 30, 35. Kujath going deep, and Baeza, the freshman, steps in front and makes the INT. So they go and pick on the freshman, and he picks him off. Pass intended to Bo Lamy, and Baeza played it perfectly.
Well, one of the things you notice about the best defensive backs is they don't get their back turned to the football. He kept his eyes back in the backfield while keeping the receiver in front of him. And then when he saw the ball in the air, he broke on it, made the interception. So that's the first interception of his Bulldog career.
Still tough for Las Cruces. Still running man-to-man, even at situation where you have the 3rd down in a country mile, like you said. They're still running man-to-man. So a lot of faith by Miller in that freshman.
1st and 10, the ball's at the Las Cruces 48-yard line. 3 wideouts. Miller gets rid of it right away, and he hits McIntyre. Makes a guy miss at the 45. He's across the 40, across the 35, and knocked down at the 33-yard line, rambling down the middle of the field. Don't use the word ramble with McIntyre very often because he's actually fleet of foot. But they're running down the middle of the field. He picks up 19 on the pass play.
Well executed play action pass. Cameron Miller took the toss back to him and then faked to the running back up the middle and then immediately rose up and hit McIntyre. Very good play action pass.
What I like about that is how quick Cameron Miller was in that release. As soon as he saw McIntyre open, as soon as he pulled the fake out, he
8 carries on the Uno stat update.
Well, the key for Cheeto Molinar is his line to give him some running room. He's not going to break a lot of tackles, a lot of arm tackles, but if he gets a little bit of daylight, he can really burst it, and he's got a second gear. And that time they pretty much stopped him at the line of scrimmage.
Second down, 10 to go for Las Cruces. The ball is at the La Cueva 33-yard line. Midway point of the second quarter. Miller out of the gun, fakes a handoff to Molinar, rises up, looks over the middle, now fires to the far side. Incomplete down at the 20, right on the numbers. And it's third down now and 10 as the pass to a well-covered receiver incomplete. He was trying to hit Alex Hernandez.
Yeah, I think that was that 7 route that they like to run. Go down past the line of scrimmage about 3 yards, and past the first down marker, and then cut back towards the sideline.
So third and 10. Ball at the Bear 34-yard line. Clock stopped with 5:55 to play until halftime. And on third and 10, Miller drops to pass. They let him through, setting up a screen to Molinar. He has it. 3 blockers in front. First down up the sideline, and he's knocked down at the 11-yard line, but they're going to pull it back some, saying he stepped out of bounds at the 18. It's still a first down after a gain of 15.
And Cheeto Molinar is not somebody you'd want to be out in space trying to meet one-on-one and get stopped, because he's too quick and too elusive. But he came out hurt on that play. It looks like his left arm or left shoulder.
Good play calling.
I'd be very frustrated right now if I was La Cueva, because all the defensive linemen knew exactly what was coming. They saw the screen, they reacted down the line, and just Molinar took it and just ran right behind him. So, La Cueva's not playing bad defense on that, just Las Cruces executing just a bit better.
Hernandez and Reynolds are wide to the left. McIntyre moves into the backfield. Fake handoff. Miller wants to keep. Defender stays home, and Miller falls down. Falls down at the 23-yard line. You hope he didn't come out of his knees there and get hurt.
Miller, loss on the play.
Tried to really cut quick, and every now and then you'll see a guy ruin a knee that way.
Yeah,
but he's okay. Loss of 5.
When he tried to reverse his field, his slipped on the artificial surface and just went down.
Loss of 5, second and 15 for the Bulldogs at the La Cueva 23-yard line. One of their defensive linemen stayed home and totally bamboozled the Bulldogs there. J.J. Wagner stayed home. Second down and 15 for the Bulldogs. 2 tight ends. And they send Terrazas in motion right to left. Miller hands it off to Molinar going right. Across the 20 and brought down at the 19-yard line. Tackle made by Thomas Vieira.
Well, it's very tough to anticipate what the Bulldogs are going to do. It's like they're pointing at, closing their eyes and pointing at plays in the playbook. So you can't just necessarily predict, well, it's this situation, so many yards on which hash mark that what they're probably going to run, because they're just very good at mixing things up and keeping you off balance on defense.
14-0 Las Cruces, late second quarter. Third down and 11 at the 18. They need the 8 for a first down. Miller pumps, drops to pass, setting up a screen. It's complete to Molinar. He has it, but they defend it well this time. He's tackled out in the open field by Cantwell. No gain.
No gain.
And that'll bring up a 4th and 11 at the 18. Well, it's between 10 and 11. Looks like it's closer to 10 on this snap. Last snap, it was closer to 11. So he gained about a yard.
Guys, that Cantwell for La Cueva is a pretty physical specimen. I'm not sure what his size is right now. He's got to be about 6'1", 225, 230, and he's fast.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'1", 225 in the program. Problem is, he's listed as number 11, and there's 2 of them. But we figured out who he is, and they need to get his name out there. He's good. 4th and 10 for the Bulldogs. The ball is at the La Cueva 18-yard line. Miller brings him to the line of scrimmage, looks to the sideline, and timeout is called for. We'll keep it here. Now let's take a 30-second break. Brennan, a 30-second break. If you cue that up, I'll buy you a couple seconds to get it ready. 3:27 to play in the half on the Jack.
Timeout. Las Cruces.
So the timeout by Las Cruces High is they're threatening to score. They're in the red zone. Let's see if they can add to their lead. It's been a great defensive battle so far today. Alyssa, what's going on with this weather?
Oh, well, yesterday we expected a lot of rain clouds, especially like for today. We don't see any coming from the north, but it looks like a pretty clear night so far, and it looks really good.
Let's hope that this nice weather holds up and we can continue to have this great game.
Like chicken meat.
This is supposed to be a 30.
Hawk at Night Radio Network all season long. Don't miss a minute of the action on Southern New Mexico's sports leader, Great Country 570 KGRT Las Cruces.
14.
Pass is complete to Isaiah McIntyre.
Tells us, and Ed Helsel confirms it.
1st and 10.
He just needed about another half yard, but it wasn't coming. There was two of the Cueva Bears right in front of him, and despite a great effort, he just couldn't quite get there.
Well executed play. They just got him 9.5 instead of 10.
The only thing that's a little bit disconcerting for me from Las Cruces is that they seem to keep going to that screenplay whenever they need some big yards, and that works well early in the season, but that's going to get on tape, and we know that's kind of their. Well,
and you're wondering. Here's what I think. What you're thinking. You confirm it for me. You're going. Why aren't they going downfield?
Right, or at least running to something to McIntyre in the middle of the field.
Perhaps it's because they're not connecting on those enough. 1st and 10 for the Bears at their own 9. Good snap. Kujath hands off. Cantwell powers his way out to the 13. Gain of 4. They're just trying to eat some clock and get it out of the shadow of their own goal post with 3:07 and counting to play in the half. If the Bulldogs get a stop here, they've only got one timeout, so the Cueva can really work on the clock if they get a 1st down. 2nd down and 6. Handoff, sweep coming left to Jesse Garcia. Fumble, it's picked up by Reynolds, and he takes it in for a touchdown. Well, the defensive stop just went for a knock for the Bears. Garcia coming on a sweep, crossed the ball about the 11. Reynolds, an opportunistic man at the right place at the right time, scoops it up and goes untouched for the TD. 20-0 Bulldogs.
I think it was Aeneas Reynolds that actually reached in and stripped the ball out. So he not only stripped the ball, but then picked it up and took it in, and there was no Cueva Bear anywhere near, and it did not have far to go.
So the Bulldogs, even though they get stopped on 4th and 10 by a half yard, 2 plays later score on defense. That has to be a deflating feeling over on that Bear sideline. The snap is high. Miller does an excellent job to corral it and get it down, and the PAT by Brian Sines is through. 21-0. Las Cruces with the lead. 2:47 to play until halftime on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
Out of all the good places to eat, there were just a few great places to dine. La Puerta de Mesilla.
Here's an update from El Paso. Mayfield 28, Franklin 14, 2nd quarter. Cueva takes the kickoff to the 46.
For the Bears, 2:43 to play in the half, and the Bulldogs lead at 21-0. 2 receivers to each side. Bulldogs with 4 defensive linemen, 2 in a 3-point stance, and La Cueva trying to set up a little pass play. And it's complete out to Javon Jones, who makes the catch and gets back to the line of scrimmage is all. And Ed Helsel says that bounced. It's incomplete. Result would have been just about the same.
Yeah, it was going to be a screen pass out to the left. And the Las Cruces Bulldog defensive lineman did not recognize it as fast as what the La Cueva Bear defensive line had been recognizing those screens, as they were trying to bear in tight on Cueva, but the pass was not a good pass. Maybe the pressure they're applying caused it to be a poor pass.
Cueva is 0 for 7 with an interception.
Unusual name, Kujath is how it's spelled. Only Cueva I've ever seen.
2nd down and 10 for La Cueva, the ball at their own 46-yard line. Cantwell in motion, good snap to Cueva, drops to Pax, fires over the middle, man wide open, has it at the 40. He's at the 35, he has his first completion of the night, down to the 33-yard line of Las Cruces. And the Bear that getting up has Aeneas Reynolds on him, and he just can't get away from him, and the guy got upset that he was on him, but
Pass is complete.
it was just one of those victims of circumstance type of things. It's funny to me up here. It wasn't funny to them down there.
Noah Hill was receiver, and Bulldogs there were in zone coverage, and he was in front of the safeties, and so picked up their best gain of the night.
Gain of 21, and then Reynolds was riding him like a donkey. He didn't like that. A little pushing and shoving afterwards. Officials let it go. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Hill goes in motion left to right. Good snap to Cueva. Has time, fires, complete to Cantwell at the 20. In the open field to the 15. He's got the 10, he's got the 5, upended and goes down at the 2-yard line. Gain of 31.
Pass is complete.
Well, this reminds us a little bit of last week. Bulldogs had a big second quarter, had 37-6 at half, and then the second half kind of lost their concentration and let Montwood put some points on the board. And I wonder if the Bulldogs got a little bit lax here in their thinking in this particular drive.
I think they just completed a couple passes. They certainly didn't cover Hill the first time, but that was just good execution. So it's 1st and goal. The ball is at the 1. Cueva sends Cantwell in motion into the backfield, goes across the formation. They hand to their ace back, airborne into the end zone. Touchdown. And La Cueva is on the board.
Number 12, Javon
Jones with the TD.
on the dime. And the Bears score.
4 plays, 56 yards. Greg Berry speechless after a touchdown.
Fairly predictable play. Fairly predictable play is they've been able to move the ball on the fullback dive when they wanted to for just a few yards, and of course they got an end zone there.
And the PAT attempt is good, and it's Las Cruces 21. La Cueva 7 as Turcotte bangs it through. 1:46 to play in the half. So it's Las Cruces 21, La Cueva 7 on the Jack Key scoreboard. Back in a minute.
What do you look for when choosing?
Bulldog Football would like to thank Danny and Polly Gamboa of Plaza de Autos for their support and generous donations to the program. Kick goes through the end zone. Touchback. Here's some scores on state. Alamogordo 19, Los Lunas 0. Berlin 28, Moriarty 0. Cibola 13, Clovis 0. Molinar on the carry. First and 10, Bulldawgs. Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 44, Alex Hernandez. Brendan Maeza. First and 10, Bulldawgs. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Maeza. Pass is complete to McIntyre. First and 10, Bulldawgs. Molinar in the carry. Loss of play. Timeout, Bulldogs. Intended for Molinar, incomplete. Third down for the Bulldogs. 4th down. First and 10, Cueva.
And then they threw the
Biggest return to the 32. Halftime.
Las Cruces Varsity High School cheerleading captain, Christy Quinones, and she's going to tell us how it's been being on top of the state for the past 3 years.
Hi, well, it's great being here. You know, being a state champion is awesome. Being a cheerleader in general is awesome. I mean, the crowd is great. The game's always living. Like, it's just really fun. We usually start our journey for state like in June. It's kind of ironic because we have 10 months to prepare for a 2-minute and 30-second routine, but I'm pretty proud of my team and I know we'll do great.
And how do you guys think you guys are going to do it this season?
This season, you know, we're all really young. There's a lot of freshmen on our team, but so far we've been working really hard, and I think that we'll pull it together in the end.
Okay, well, thanks for coming out, and I hope you guys keep us crowd-spirited.
Tonight's showcase will present 2 movements of their 5th show in New England Tri-Pitch, featuring the music of assistant drum major Chase Brooks and Emma Harvey. Following the show, join us in cheering on the Bulldawgs to the Las Cruces High School fight song. Drum majors, Jonathan Adams and Joseph Rader. Is your band ready? You may now take the field for your halftime performance. folks. The first prize winner will receive a 1-year supply of Price's milk, a gallon a week for 52 weeks. And the second prize winner will receive 52 half gallons of Price's ice cream. The winner of the year's supply of milk is
I don't like sweets so much,
our winner.
Wow, what a great performance by the marching band. Well, right now I'm here with Mr. Ernie Viramontes, the athletic director for Las Cruces Public Schools. And Mr. Viramontes, I've got to ask you, how have you felt about the weather the last couple of games?
Well, it's interesting. We had a good week all week, and then we knew that we were going to get chances of rain, and the rain doesn't bother us. It's the lightning that comes with it. But we were ready for it, and we did have to stop the game last night twice, but we followed protocol that we've always followed every year, and everything worked out well for us, thank God.
The weather tonight's been, well, pretty great. I see some storm clouds coming in from the north. How do you think tonight's going to play out weather-wise?
Well, right now what we do is we keep it with a weather bug that tells us where it's at. So right now it was at about 90 miles away, came to about 40, and then it went back to 90. So we keep it on the field. We got a monitor on the field. Once it gets within 25, 30, then we start getting everything ready, and then if it gets within 10 miles, that's when we clear the stadium. But right now it looks like it's going to stay away from us.
Perfect. All right, from Mother Nature to the gridiron, how do you feel about the 4 Las Cruces high schools this season?
Well, let me tell you, it's exciting. You know, every year you have Cruces Mayfield pretty much. But I tell you what, Centennial is looking good. Oñate's got a new coach who's going to turn that around. I think it's going to take him just a little bit, but I'm telling you what, we're getting to the point where we're going to have 4 real good football teams in Las Cruces.
Absolutely. All right, well, this is Mr. Ernie Viramontes, the athletic director for Las Cruces Public Schools. Thank you for coming out and taking this interview.
And thank you for you guys being here, all the students.
Yes, sir. All right, second half coming up right here on LCPS TV.
At the half, Brad's got all the other scores of interest. I know the one I'm wanting to know about is Mayfield.
Yeah, Mayfield right now, they just updated us here at the stadium. It's 42-28, Mayfield over Franklin at the half. So obviously that's a defense optional game down there in El Paso at this point.
Well, we knew Mayfield had a great offense after watching them roll up 600 yards last week.
With 20 penalties.
Yeah.
The other interesting games around is Alamogordo beaten up on Los Lunas. Los Lunas in the state championship game just 2 years ago. Alamogordo up 33-7 at halftime. Berlin over Moriarty 35-0. Clovis has come back and basically is up 16-13 over Cibola. Centennial up 37-6 at half against Gadsden. Del Valle of El Paso is beating Cleveland 14-7. Carlsbad and Deming are locked at 6 at halftime. El Dorado is all over Valley 34-7. One of the games that's interesting here is the Sandia Atrisco Heritage game. Atrisco, of course, was locked in a battle that La Cueva won on the last second last week. Basically, right now Sandia is up 21-6 on Atrisco at halftime. Manzano's up 20-15 on Volcano Vista.
That's an interesting score.
That's an interesting score. That's really surprised. Hobbs 25, Artesia 6. So we saw Hobbs.
Where's Hartshorn at? Get him in here. Get him in here.
So obviously, I mean, Hobbs can put up the points, which we saw last week against Mayfield.
But
so
they're stopping somebody.
Right. So there's no really
apparently we have some evidence from El Paso tonight that Mayfield's offense is pretty.
Well, 28-7 is the score. Las Cruces High is on top with the late touchdown by Aeneas Reynolds from Cameron Miller. Let's see if the Cruces offense can continue piling on points and secure their second win of the season.
2 weeks. Presumably on the road next week. I'm trying to find a schedule. Can't find one in here. So the Bulldogs getting the ball first. McIntyre catches it at the goal line, brings it out to the 20, 25. He's got the 30. He's got the 35, 40, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Good to see him back in there because we thought he got shaken up on that last TD drive.
Yeah, Isaiah McIntyre has some very good wheels on him, and he kind of made a mistake, I think, finishing that run because he was not patient and staying behind his blockers. I think had he waited instead of running ahead of his blockers, he might have got another 5 or 10 yards out of that return.
Bulldogs take on Volcano Vista up in Albuquerque next week.
Volcano Vista is supposed to be one of the top 5 teams in the state as well. So Cruces back-to-back tough games.
Yep, that'll be a good one. Maybe we'll go up there. I think Mayfield's at home. I got to see who Mayfield plays. Anyway, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Handoff coming right. Nothing there. Loss of a yard. La Cueva gets a stop out of Brandon Murillo on Molinar's first carry of the second half.
Murillo right outside linebacker ran him down from behind, so showed some very good speed on that play. Run down a quick running back from behind. Oh, he was kind of snuggling in there behind his blockers, and that made it easier for Murillo, but he did show some speed getting to him. One of those old Lawrence Taylor plays.
Jones wing left, little delay to the fullback, and he punches it up to the 38 as Hill on the carry. That's a gain of a yard for Hill, but they're running some time off the clock, working on the running game. They're down 3 TDs and have a first down on their first series of the second half, faced with 2nd and 9 here.
Well, when you see them go to this formation, Brad, I think they're thinking, you know, we're bigger than they are up front. And so let's go with 2 tights and see if we can block them.
It's true, and that one completion was that little spider route where the lead blocker just kind of snuck out and was open for the pass. So, I mean, it opens up a lot of different things when you run the ball.
2 tight ends, 2nd down and 9. They bring a wing around, hand him the ball on a sweep to the left side. Gets out to the edge, but is brought down as Hill brought down by Baeza at the 42-yard line. Nice open field tackle by Baeza. It's a gain of 4.
And it's a good thing that Baeza made the one-on-one tackle, because if we didn't, it was going to go for about another 10 yards.
I'm wondering if Baeza didn't flunk 2 or 3 years of school because, I mean, he's playing like a junior out there for being a freshman.
Well, one thing.
I mean that sincerely.
I know it. But the one thing that helps is that these guys have played mid-school and so forth, so it's not like this is their first year of organized football.
3rd down and 4 for the Bulldogs at their own 43-yard line. Kujath back to pass, rolling right. Maybe could run for it. Instead stops and heaves it deep. He's got a man open. Caught. He's knocked down at the 12-yard line. Baeza brought him down, saved a touchdown, but it's a huge gain. Making the catch, Javon Jones. It's a gain of 45 yards.
Yeah, 2 receivers in the area, both running deep. One down the right-hand side, one down the middle, but both converging on the ball. And they got behind both the secondary man, the corner and safety, and made the catch. Baeza was able to trip him up from behind.
1st and 10 for La Cueva. The ball is at the Bulldog 12-yard line. Double wing, 2 tight ends. Single setback. Send the left wing in motion. Jones, handoff straight ahead to Cantwell, and he goes down in the pile at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Tackles didn't get beat for Cruces. And nowhere to run for Cantwell, straight up the gut. 2nd down and 10 at the 12.
Yeah, it certainly appears that La Cueva is going to try to go with the power game in the second half with play action pass off of that power game.
6:55 to play in the 3rd. Las Cruces leads it by 3 TDs. La Cueva threatening though. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the Las Cruces 12-yard line. Hill comes in motion. Pitch it to him going left on a sweep. Gets to the outside to the 10. Stutter steps, cuts inside. Ball comes free. And he comes out of there with it. Noah Hill does. At the 7-yard line, it's a gain of 5. 3rd and 5.
And we have to assume that La Cueva is not going to want to be settling for a field goal here. They're going to want to try to punch it in the end zone and put themselves back in striking distance.
I do like the new look La Cueva uniforms as we get to the fashion portion of the evening. I can see their numbers brilliantly, and it's a nice looking uniform. 3rd down and 5 for the Bears. The ball is at the Bulldog 7-yard line. Jones in motion. Pitch to Jones going right on a toss sweep. Cuts it up, finds an alley. He's in. Touchdown La Cueva. Nice drive by the Bears It's a 7-yard TD run for John Jones.
Well, and now we've seen the adjustment La Cueva made at halftime, going with 2 tights and wing T or double wing T, and running the power game or play action pass. So we'll see what adjustments the Las Cruces defensive side comes out with next time they go to defense.
77-yard drive for the Bears. Score comes with 5:55 to play in the third. And a PAT attempt coming from Cub Turcotte. Good snap. Turcotte's boot is away and good. And it's 28-14 Las Cruces on the Jack Key Motor scoreboard. 5:55 to play in the third quarter. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
Well, La Cueva with the quick touchdown score make things a little bit more interesting. Cuts the Cruces lead to 28-14. Cruces is going to get the ball right now. Let's see if they can add on to this lead and hold off the La Cueva Bears rally.
Here's the kickoff, end over end kick, sails down to the goal line, caught by McIntyre to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and down to the 23-yard line.
Okay, now the Cruces Bulldogs now need to try to get the momentum back. They went 3 and out on their first possession, and then we gave up a length of the field touchdown drive. So La Cueva has a little bit emotional momentum and a little different approach to their game plan. And so we'll see what adjustments the Cruces Bulldogs make.
I think of Cruces right here. I think if I'm looking to try to run that little delay handoff that they ran so effectively, I look for Cameron Miller to keep the ball here on kind of a naked boot when the time comes.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. The ball is at the Cruces 23-yard line. And off to, nope, faked it to Molinar. Miller keeps coming right. Miller is cut down at the 22-yard line, lost a yard. 5 carries, 26 yards for Miller on the Uno stat update. It's 2nd and 11.
That's why I'm a radio guy, not an offensive coordinator. Because I called that play, but just didn't work. Obviously, La Cueva had it snuffed out.
Yep. Hey. Power of suggestion.
You can tell my wife that I'm finally wrong once.
Well, you know what? There is no accountability when you're doing it on here. When you're out on the sideline, you got all the accountability. So. But I'll tell her that anyway, Brent. 2nd down and 11. The ball is at the Las Cruces 22-yard line. Miller with a play-action pass. Steps up, gets away from a defender, flush left, throws on the move, pass tipped, incomplete at the 22-yard line. Baeza nearly came up with it, but they really trapped it. 3rd and 11 for Las Cruces.
Well, we have to assume that if Bulldogs go out 3 and out again, then La Cueva Bulldogs are going to start believing in themselves. And
the La Cueva Bears.
La Cueva Bears are going to start believing in themselves. So the Bulldogs need to do something to put themselves back in the dominant position here in this game with a big gain and move the chains a few times and start showing themselves to be the bully in this game.
Well, Cruces didn't have a particularly good second half last week. See if they can do better from here on out. 5:01 to play in the third quarter, and Cruces will spend a timeout on 3rd and 11. 28-14 Dogs on the Jack Key scoreboard. Back after this.
Timeout. Las Cruces. goes out of bounds. Centennial 37, Gadsden 6. Del Valle 14, Cleveland 7. Deming and Carlsbad tied at 6. Hobbs 25, Artesia 6.
Hobbs leading Artesia 25-6. Centennial's up big over Gadsden. Here, Cruces up 2 TDs on La Cueva. La Cueva hands it off. And with the football is Javon Jones. Jones brought down at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Making the stop for Las Cruces on the edge, Julian Molina.
Well, when we heard Coach Miller in the pregame show, he was talking about them running a lot of twins to the left, twins to the right, 4 wide receivers. And you got the impression his team was going to throw the ball all over the field. But they have pretty much settled in on the tight ground game and the play action pass here in the second half.
Yeah, after an 0-for-7 start, La Cueva went to plan B. Second down, handoff to Cantwell, straight ahead, gets to the second level and bangs his way down close to a first down to the Las Cruces 34-yard line. Brought down at the third level. First down for La Cueva, I believe. 27 yards on 7 carries for the big bruiser.
Brad, if you're on the coaching staff for the Bulldogs, what adjustment are you going to make right now?
I think you got to start moving your defensive line around a little bit. Right now, they're just kind of playing man on man, trying to react to the ball. I think you got to start stunting a little bit, slanting towards the motion side if La Cueva's doing that, and just trying to create something on defense.
1st and 10 at the Las Cruces 34. Kujat the throw, man's wide open, caught, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. And La Cueva has made it a game. As the pass complete over the middle to the tight end. He's not on our original roster. Malik Curry on the catch.
3 receivers in the pattern, and that guy was running wide open down the middle of the field. And it looks to me like the Bulldogs have gone a little more zone coverage, Brad. And
nobody covered him.
And that's why they've given up some of these things.
Well, I think you're right. They're playing zone, or at least the secondary's playing zone. I don't think the linebackers are playing zone. I think the linebackers are being sucked up by the run, that they're not dropping into coverage. That's something that the linebacker should have dropped out and covered the tight end there, but they're just not getting to the right position.
PAT attempt is on the way, and the kick is good. So La Cueva has cut it to a 1 TD game, 28-21. La Cueva, 3:53 to play in the third quarter. It's been all La Cueva in the second half. On the Jet Key Motors scoreboard, Cruces 28, La Cueva 21. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
1 ticket to the Gun and Ammo Show. 5.
On the return for the Bulldogs. Second down and 10. Pass is complete to Isaiah McIntyre. First and 10, Bulldogs.
Grabbed by the shirt tail and yanked down at the Bear 45, just outside the right hash. And that's a gain of 4 for Cheeto on his 3rd carry of the second half. He has 14 carries for 79 yards in the game on the Uno stat update, but just 8 yards in the second half. And we have 2:59 to play in the 3rd quarter.
He got a good push from the line up front there, and so he's about 4 yards down before any contact with him.
Second down and 6 for the Bulldogs. The ball is at the Bear 45-yard line. Baeza wide to the right, Reynolds wide to the left. Fake handoff to Molinar. Here comes Miller with a convoy, 40, 35, 30 to the second level, to the third level, 25 to the 20, and down at the 18, but a flag flies in the secondary. Miller picks up 27. Bears are clapping. The marker's down at the 26-yard line, so a lot of the run will stand, even if it's against the Bulldogs. Holding against Las Cruces.
Well, counter Trey kind of blocking there as they pull 2 linemen from the left-hand side to lead the blocking around the right end. And Cameron Miller got in behind him and then broke free. So it was the kind of blocking that Cruces does a lot on those big gains.
What's unfortunate is that holding occurred 10, 11 yards away from the ball, so that where the holding was going on was not going to affect the play. So that's the unfortunate part about that holding penalty. The good part is that, like Jeff said, the majority of that run's going to stand, and it's going to be a first down for Las Cruces even after they've marked the ball back 10 yards.
Yeah, it's a 19-yard run, and then a 10-yard penalty works against that. So it turns into a net gain of 9, but it was a first down anyway. And they end up getting the ball at the La Cueva 36.
Lineman really did a nice job getting out in front of that play, Brad.
He really did. I was impressed on that counter Trey, just getting out in front and letting Cameron Miller, just putting a wall up for him so he can run.
First and 10 for the Dogs at the La Cueva 36-yard line. Good snap to Cameron Miller, hands off to Cheeto Molinar, and he's yanked down by Cantwell, the big 225-pound linebacker at the 33. It's a gain of 3.
Getting better blocking up front on this drive. Played with 2 tights that time and got a nice push, and so gained 3 or 4 on that first down. And of course they're in 4-down territory, so 3 yards on first down is a win.
Second down and 7 for Las Cruces. The ball is at the La Cueva 33-yard line. Fake handoff to Molinar, same play that worked big earlier. Miller bringing it out to the right side, gets to the 25 and right along the sideline, stopped at the 23. First down after a gain of 10.
Brad, if you've got linemen who can pull from the left-hand side and lead around the right, you've got a potential running game.
You absolutely do, and I like what Las Cruces is doing. In the first half, they were kind of doing that zone blocking, and even the first 2 series of the second half, Las Cruces High was zone blocking. Now they've got movement with their line. They're running, like you said, that counter Trey. They're running some trap with Cheeto Molinar in the backfield. They're doing a really good job up front, and good job by the left-hand side, 76 and 74 for Cruces.
Las Cruces 28, La Cueva 21. First and 10 for the Bulldogs at the La Cueva 23. Same play going left this time. Miller gets to the linebacker level and is yanked down as he gets to the 14.
Once again.
It's a gain of 9 for Miller. Cantwell brought him down.
Brad, if you're on defense, what's the key to stopping that kind of a play where there's pulling 2 linemen from the opposite side?
Well, you have to have somebody on the front side of that where the pull is coming towards. You got to have somebody on that line, whether it's a defensive end or a defensive lineman, that just stands up and takes that block. And just you have to blow that play up with the very first guy that's pulling. If you can hit the first guy in the pulling, it kind of stymies up everything and lets everybody funnel back. And you got to let your linebacker make that play when Miller tries to cut it back a little bit.
Second down and a yard to go. The Bulldogs have the ball at the La Cueva 14-yard line. So on 2nd and 1, Miller ducks underneath center, shovels it out to McIntyre going left. He'll come back right, finds a seam. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, touchdown, but a flag comes down. And they threw it at Cameron Miller, and then they throw another one at Cameron Miller as he was mouthing off to one of the linebackers. Cameron complaining about one of the flags. I think he drew 2 different flags there. I think he got one for a block and maybe a post-play foul. What a run by McIntyre.
Yeah, that was a very athletic run. It's unfortunate that play's going to come back because Isaiah McIntyre showed the kind of athlete as he on that play. He's got a lot of speed and elusiveness, and I think Isaiah can continue playing college football a year from now.
Yeah, he has signed for the with New Mexico State, but this could end up being a 25-yard penalty here for Cruces with a 10-yard penalty on Miller for holding, and then you're going to have a dead ball 15-yard penalty after that, I believe, too. So
well, we'll see. The referee picked up his second flag and moved it to where the first flag was, so he might have just been echoing the hold. But Cameron was kind of locked up jawing with a La Cueva defender when the second marker came out. That's why I thought perhaps it was going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct. Holding against Cruces, and that's the only penalty. So I misread the second flag. They were basically for the same thing. Did he hold?
Well, he was down there holding the other player, the La Cueva player, down. There's a lot of jawing going on, but I think, Miller has a little bit of his dad in him. He's a little bit of a hothead sometimes. Just competitor.
Second down and 15 for the Bulldogs at the La Cueva 28-yard line. Good snap to Miller, coming right with a convoy. He's at the 20, breaks that tackle. He's to the 15 and brought down at the 13. So he got back 15 yards there, and it's very close to a first down.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're running that same counter tray action again with the pulling 2 linemen from the left-hand side, leading around the right end. And Brad, did you have any success giving it that Lawrence Taylor chasing down from behind?
That's the end of the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's the Bulldogs 28, the Bears 21 on the Jack Key Motors scoreboard. Back in a minute.
That was an exciting first three quarters of play. Well, right now I'm here with Sam Hummer and Michael Uribe, the leaders of the Las Cruces High School student section. Sam, how did you guys first get involved in this?
I was here 2 years. For these 2 years, when I was a freshman and a sophomore, I was just involved every game, having fun, just getting loud. And I guess everybody else liked it. And I guess, I got a lot of positive support for me to come out and lead it. Lead everybody out here.
Awesome. Now, I've heard a lot about long lines and early entrances to get in here. What time do you guys usually start lining up to get into these 7 o'clock kickoff games?
Yeah, about 5 o'clock. We got a lot of seniors lining up before even people get here. We got students here before, the administration and stuff. Personally, I get here about 5 o'clock just to get some good seats because it gets pretty packed,
How do you feel how about that drum line, man?
You know what? Our drum line is fantastic. Last year it was fantastic. The year before it was fantastic. It's always been great, and it's going to continue to be great.
All right, and one more question for both of you. Are you guys going to win the state title for the 3rd year in a row?
Hey, yes, sir. Three-peat!
All right, well, let's get back to the action. Las Cruces High School, let's see if they can hold this lead for the final quarter of play.
Down to the 4th quarter, you need some of these.
And it's been a steady diet of counter tray left, counter tray right, and that's been the hallmark of this drive.
So it's 3rd and inches for the Bulldogs. The ball's at the La Cueva 13-yard line. Out of the I formation with 2 tight ends. Miller ducks underneath center. Cameron calls, pitches to Molinar going left, sandwiched as he gets to the edge, but his momentum carries him to the 11 for a gain of 3 and a first down.
Simple toss play, something the Bulldogs like to do a lot. Toss the ball to the tailback, he follows the fullback and runs to daylight.
1st and 10, Bulldogs.
McIntyre out, Reynolds in on 1st and 10 at the La Cueva 11. 11:50 to play in the game. Reynolds comes wide to the left for Las Cruces on 1st and 10 at the 11. 2 tight ends for Las Cruces, I formation. Miller pitches to Molinar, gets around the defender that came in on the edge, gets a good block. He's at the 5, he's in, touchdown. Trying to shoot in there and make a play was Ryan Hill. Making a block for Las Cruces with Joseph Montoya. He cleaned that up, and Molinar goes in untouched 11 yards for the TD.
A little margin for error now for the Bulldogs, because as it was, they were one play away from being in a tie ball game. So going up 2 scores again helps. Now we'll see if the Bulldogs come up with a plan for dealing with that 2 tights and play action pass that the power game that La Cueva's been using here in the 3rd quarter.
61-yard march for the Bulldogs. They score with 11:33 to play in the 4th quarter. 34-21 Las Cruces on the Jack Key scoreboard. And the PAT is good. So on the Jack Key Motor scoreboard, it's 35-21. Las Cruces leads La Cueva. Bulldog football continues in a minute. By 14. La Cueva to boot it away, or rather to get it from the Las Cruces Bulldogs on the kick. And there is the boot. Wind pushing it to the 2. Caught there. Bears up the hash, 5-10. Right hash to the 15. Hill to the 20. Hill hit at the 23, and that's where the play ends. So La Cueva has a long way to go. At their own 23. 11:26 to play in the game here at the Field of Dreams as the Bulldogs look to go 2-0. Next week they hit the road and go to Volcano Vista up in Albuquerque.
And there is an injured Bulldog coming off.
Corey Knoll. That's old, the basketball player Knoll's brother, Trevor Knoll, from a couple years ago. So hopefully he's okay. Looks like it's a cramp. It'll be all right. First down and 10 for La Cueva at the Bear 23. Back to the wing tee. And a handoff with a sweep coming to the right side. Noah Hill, and Noah's upended by McIntyre at the 27, which is a gain of 4.
And the La Cueva Bears using a different blocking scheme from the counter tray, but once again trying to outnumber the Bulldogs at the point of attack with an extra blocker in front of the running back coming wide, and gain about 3, maybe 4.
So the big difference on that is you saw where the Las Cruces defensive end attacked that counter tray. You attack the blocker that's coming at you, almost like giving yourself up so that somebody else can make the play. So good job there by Las Cruces of hemming in that counter tray.
Second down and 6 for La Cueva from the Bear 27-yard line. Counter handoff to Hill with running room into the second level, across the 35, all the way out to the 40.
And
gain of 12.
And again on that play, La Cueva pulled 2 right-hand side linemen, guard and tackle, and they led the way on the left-hand side, and so they outnumbered the Bulldogs at the point of attack and got a nice gain for a first down.
Well, and they had some misdirection going with it, with the backfield action.
That's right. Very, very well executed play, well-designed play.
This is the wing tee of the 1980s, Brad. I feel like I'm being whisked back in time here. First down and 10. Dropping back to pack is Kujath, fires for Hill. He's open, makes the catch, hit immediately. Molinar brings him down. They're into Bulldog territory at the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 13.
Well, everything's clicking right now for La Cueva in the second half. And so Bulldogs haven't yet made the adjustments necessary to get them stopped.
Going back to the end of the first half, that's 6 completions in a row for Kujath. Here in the second half, he's 4 for 4. And right now, he was 0 for 7.
And that particular play was not a play action pass. There was no fake involved. He just dropped back and saw a receiver about 12 yards down on the right-hand side.
After starting off 0 for 7 with an interception, he's now 6 for 13 for 150 yards and a TD. Talk about turning it around, Brad. This kid's turned it around.
Absolutely. I think a couple completions for him. He's got his momentum back. The other big piece is that when you look at those first 7 completions, Las Cruces High had Bulldogs right in his face and had a lot of pressure on him immediately. These last couple plays, because of the run, the linebackers are having to read and look, and so you're not getting as much pressure up front. Like in that case, there's nobody in his face, so he had a nice, easy look at the throw.
La Cueva's got to be feeling like, man, we went to the Field of Dreams and spotted Cruces 21 points. Because here in the second half, it's been a battle, and La Cueva's had the advantage, but Cruces built that big lead.
And they've had 3 turnovers.
The man that's injured is the guy that scored the TD on the TD pass in the third quarter, Malik Curry, the 6'3", 205-pound tight end. Gets up limping, but going off on his own with no assistance.
Tell you what, Jeff, he's coming off right next to me. That's a big kid. He is a good-looking athlete, I'll tell you what. Kind of reminds me of Cameron Dixon for Cruces a couple years ago.
So La Cueva's moved it from their own 23 to the Cruces 47. It's first.
But they're moving the chains consistently against the Bulldog defense.
That was Kyler Padilla on the carry. I called it Hill, but it was Padilla getting his first carry of the night for 3 yards. Second down and 7, the ball at the Bulldog 44-yard line. Handoff to Cantwell, bounces it out to the left, breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles before the fourth Bulldog brings him down. First down for La Cueva. It was Julian Molina that finally corralled him after 3 missed tackles. It's a gain of 11 for Cantwell. He's a big guy to bring down.
Yeah, it was a nice run by Cantwell. He's got a little bit of elusiveness, but mostly he's not going to go down for an arm tackle. You got to hit him with the shoulder, you got to hit him low, and you got to wrap him up.
Overacker and Hensdale are the tight ends now for the Bears. They've been in a 2 tight end wing T set the entire second half. Go back to the counter play to Hill, and the Bulldogs defense this one a little better. Hill still squirts through a little hole, and he's still going. We'll see where they give him forward progress. They never did quite get him down till about the third wave of tacklers hit. Looks like they're going to give him the 29, which is a gain of 4.
And both offenses have gone to a two-player pulling blocking scheme here in the second half, and neither defense has defended it well yet.
8:50 to play in the game. Las Cruces 35, La Cueva 21 on the Jack Key Motor scoreboard.
The way things are going right now, Las Cruces' best defense is a good offense in keeping La Cueva off the field, so if they can't get a stop.
After 2 3 and outs, they did get a touchdown. That helped. To the air on second down and 6. Man's open deep. Pass on the money. Caught. Touchdown. And the Bears have scored their third second half TD. That's Padilla making the grab. Kujath delivered it perfectly. So he's now completed 7 passes in a row, 2 of them for touchdowns, and the Bears have cut it to 1 TD again.
And that was against the freshman corner Baeza. Brandon Baeza had one-on-one coverage there and lost contact with the receiver and made a good pass, good catch, touchdown.
Nice drive by the Bears. They look like a new team here in the second half after going to this wing T approach and getting rid of the 4 wideouts. PAT is on the way, and it's good. So it's a 7-point game again. Las Cruces 35, La Cueva 28. 8:26 to play in the game on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
Want tickets to the Gun and Ammo Show? $5 admission. Kids ages 10 and under get in free. Buy ammo. Scope out Western collectibles. Choose from items for the ladies. Shop for your personal protection, such as knives. Buy, sell, trade firearms. This weekend at Dickerson's Barn, 3920 West Picacho. This Saturday, September 6th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Cueva's got to be
September
saying,
7th, from 9 a.m.
let's
to
play
3
him in
p.m.
Albuquerque in about another 5 weeks, and we can win this.
Southern New Mexico
They might win tonight.
Discover the future at the 12th annual Donniana Community College Golf Tournament at Sonoma Ranch Golf Course on Friday, September 19th.
Yeah, if they play again, La Cueva's not going to come into it with trepidation, that's for sure.
Educational dreams for a bright future. Meet new President Dr. Renee Scott. Come have fun on the fairways with Correa Company for a great cause at the DACC Golf Tournament. All proceeds go to development efforts and student scholarships. Sponsored by Memorial Medical Center and El Paso Electric. For more information, call 528-7059. Great Country KGRT 570, your home to the Bulldawgs Trojan Hockey Night Radio Network, presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
8:26 to play in the game, 35-28 Bulldogs. And here's the La Cueva kick. End over end, caught at the 9, muffed, picked up by McIntyre. Now he's coming left and finds the same to the 30. 35, grabbed by the sleeve of his jersey and slung out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So Cruces, it's an important drive here.
Well, the way this second half is developing, Cruces' best defense is a good offense. They need to keep La Cueva off the field. They need to go down and put more points on the board and not let La Cueva have the ball back with one score down.
This is the type of scenario I know that Las Cruces High in the past, their offensive line has just loved. They're like, let's just go get 4 or 5 yards of play, and let's just milk 4 or 5 minutes off this clock and go down and score and put this game away.
So it's first down and 10, the ball at the own 36-yard line for the Bulldogs. Miller to the air to McIntyre, complete to the 40. That's a gain of 4 on a little safe pass.
Well, if I were scouting against the Bulldogs, one thing I would notice is when the Bulldogs are in trouble, they look for Isaiah McIntyre. He's their comfort zone.
I agree with you, Greg, and I'm surprised that La Cueva's not running more of a bump and run with him, even where you're having your corner just bump him and then have run support with a safety over the top, because they're hitting those quick passes with McIntyre.
Second down and 6 for Cruces. The ball is at the Las Cruces 40-yard line. And coming left is Cameron Miller to the 45. Hunkers down and goes down at the 49. That's a first down. Gain of 9.
Counter tray blocking once again. Brad, why don't you describe exactly what happens on a counter tray blocking?
The counter tray, what they have is basically the guard and the tackle, or sometimes it's the tackle and the tight end pulling around. And so you have everybody, like in this case, on the left side of the line, blocking down towards the ball, and the other 2 people are out to kick out. And so basically that's trying to create that nice little lane. Now what Las Cruces is able to do, because their guard and tackler are so fast, they can actually get around the corner and kind of seal it. And so that's what's allowing Cameron Miller to get to the outside, and where they seal that edge for him.
First and 10 for Cruces at the Las Cruces 49-yard line. La Cueva stacked up the line and to shoot somebody in there and get some penetration and stop Molinar, who stumbles back to the line of scrimmage for no gain, coming left. That time they got some penetration against that pulling guard action, and that's one way to beat it, Brad, is shoot someone in through the holes if you don't fill the gaps.
Right, and the problem is if you do that too much, then you leave yourself susceptible somewhere else. That's the problem with like what both La Cueva is running offensively and Las Cruces High is running offensively, is kind of pick your poison. Do you sell out and try to outguess the offensive coordinator and say, hey, you're going to run that counter tray and we're going to try to stop you, and just try to stop him at the point.
Second and 10 for Cruces at the Cruces 49. Blitz is on. Miller buys time, goes deep to McIntyre. Complete. Nice catch by McIntyre at the 11-yard line. Yeah. Well, then he got up and spun the ball at the end of the play. He's lucky he didn't get called for unsportsmanlike conduct there. But it's a great hookup. Miller kind of underthrew it a bit, but McIntyre caught it anyway.
And that's the comfort zone I'm talking about. When you need to make a play, look to number 22, because he's quite a good player. And he's a good competitor as well.
So the Bulldogs have it at the 12, first and 10 with 6:19 to play in the game. The coverage is pretty good. Pass was underthrown, so McIntyre had to slow down for it, which let the defender be right there. McIntyre just caught it anyway on a fade route. First and 10 for the Dogs at the Bear 12-yard line. 2 tight ends, and the Bulldogs come out in the I formation. Miller pitches to the I-back Molinar. Molinar gets around the right edge to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown! Same play he scored on last time. And again, a good block by Joseph Montoya to keep Ryan Hill from getting penetration and making the stop in the backfield. Once he got past Hill, nobody touched him.
Yeah, neither team has come up with the formula for getting the other team's offense stopped at this point in the game. And, of course, anytime you score again, okay, you give yourself a little margin for error, a little bit of comfort zone, and now up 2 touchdowns. But the Bulldogs still got to get something that's figured out defensively.
5:52 to play in the game. The Bulldogs lead at 41-28 on the Jack Key Motors scoreboard, and the PAT on the way is good. These are all important. La Cueva won because of missed extra points last week. Atrisco Heritage went for 2 twice and didn't convert early in the game and ended up losing by a point. Here, it's 42-28 Bulldogs leading La Cueva. 5:52 to play in the game. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
There's nothing like the feeling of family, Friday nights, and high school football. That's why Computer Career Center, a division of Vista College, is a proud supporter of all our Las Cruces high school athletes. We know you've worked hard to get here. We're proud of you, proud of Las Cruces.
On that side, straight in, and 13
medical careers to
blocks him, and then nobody else touches Molinar.
Big dreams, and we can give you the
that's your pick your poison. It's great when it does. It's great when it works. If it doesn't, there's nobody out there.
Our campus is close to home, and
so I give credit to number 13 because we haven't said his name much this year. Made a couple of good blocks here.
Available to those who qualify.
Sprung
New classes start every 5 weeks. We know you're all winners. Now give it all you got. VistaCollege.edu. We love Las Cruces football. Computer Career Center, a division of Vista College Las Cruces, is a branch campus of Vista College, El Paso, Texas. Consumer information may be viewed at VistaCollege.edu.
Great Country KGRT 570, your home to the Bulldawgs Trojan Hockey Night Radio Network, presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Hill catches the kick and returns it out to the 22-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for La Cueva at their own 22-yard line.
You know, the one thing, Jeff, we haven't pointed out, he's either here in the second half. We haven't seen the running back number 21, Jones, for La Cueva at all since he kind of went down after that long pass play at the end of the half. I think he's, like I said, doesn't have his helmet with him, so he must have hurt his leg or something. So that's another issue for La Cueva, where they don't have all their running backs that they've had to start, and they're running with Padilla and Hill at this point.
42-28, Las Cruces with the lead. The Bears made a comeback here in the second half. Now the Bulldogs have answered twice. On 1st and 10. To the ground, big guy Cantwell pounding it at left tackle across the 25 out to the 20. And I'm having flashbacks to old Bear football with all those big backs they used to have and those 280-pound college-looking linemen they used to have when Cantwell runs that play. And they're getting the same results.
And Cantwell is listed in the program at 6'1", 225. And he's not without elusiveness. He's strong and powerful, but he's got a little bit of shiftiness as well.
Gain of 7 on that play, Brad.
He kind of has a Toby Gerhardt look to him from Stanford. I mean, just, you know, big kid, really good. He's also the middle linebacker, so he's going both ways.
2nd down and 3. And the counter play coming right. Bulldogs have been beaten on this play a couple times. They string it out. Padilla, who caught the TD pass, scampers and turns the edge and gets a 1st down up to the 35, gain of 6. 2 carries, 9 yards for Padilla. And he has a 29-yard TD catch as well for the Bears on the Uno stat update. I think he's taking the place of Javon Jones, who Brad was talking about, who has left the lineup, apparently suffering some kind of an injury tonight. 1st and 10. The ball is at the La Cueva 35-yard line with 4:58 to play in the game. Wing left. And they hand off to Cantwell, bounces it out to the right, stiff arms a Bulldog. He brings him down anyway. That's Molinar. But not until he picks up 5. I mean, he's good for 5 every time he gets it. He seems to have a real good knack for finding a seam there. That play was supposed to go more in between the tackles, and he bounced it out to the right guys.
He did, just showing a lot of agility there. So I'm really impressed with him. It'll be interesting to see how he matures and what his role is going forward with La Cueva.
4:24 to play in the game. Cruces by 14. Coming out of the game is Jonah Hill. And the Bears dropped a pass. The Bulldogs get some pass pressure on him. He's in trouble, gets away, now turns the corner coming back the other way and gets rid of it and leads his receiver who catches it. It's Cantwell, and he's off to the races, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and McIntyre knocks him down at the 3-yard line. Make it the 2.
Well, very good pressure by the Bulldogs, but Kujat just did a terrific job of avoiding the rush and finally broke free, rolling out to the right. And it's very tough for any secondary to cover that long. They must have been covered 8 or 10 seconds back there. And so it's not surprising that someone would eventually come free.
58-yard pass play. Kujak got free from 2 Bulldogs that got in on him, scrambled around, then hit Cantwell on the run. 237 yards passing after an 0 for 7 start for Kujak. First and goal, the ball is at the 2-yard line. Handoff to Cantwell, runs over Molinar. He wraps him up, but he's into the end zone anyway. Touchdown Bears. So they've come right back with a 78-yard march.
Well, throughout this game, they have shown that they can get 2 yards if they need it. And Cantwell is just too big and too powerful, and they're getting enough push up front. So Cruces needs to leave them in second and long, third and long situations, because I don't think they'll be able to stop in the short yardage situations. Fortunately for Cruces, they've been able to do what they need to do offensively.
Only took them 4 plays. PAT is up and good.
And of course the big play was actually a broken play.
4 minutes to play in the game. The Bulldogs 42, the Bears 35 on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. Bulldog football continues in a minute.
Why is First Valley Realty considered the premier commercial real estate company in Las Cruces? First Valley Realty
Flashback
has
show is
over
going to last
33
all
years
weekend.
in Las Cruces with 11 full-time agents
split it or
and
on-site it
proven
here?
expertise in commercial real estate,
I mean, you got 3
property
timeouts,
management,
but
investment properties, industrial locations, or land sales. First Valley is part of the global NAI network for reaching potential partners worldwide. Call 521-1535.
I try to pull some trickeration here. Yeah, they're calling in some hams people on the Cueva side.
That's the number one, stvalley.com. Advanced Computer Repair has 25 years of experience working with computers, licensed with both Microsoft and Apple, and carrying all necessary certification for installation and repair. You can either bring your computer to the shop or have an on-site visit. Advanced Computer Repair can do virus removal and tune-up for only $89, and the diagnostic analysis is free. Advanced Computer can also do network setups or even build a computer to suit your purposes. Stop by Advanced Computer Repair at 951 North Solano or call 522-5602. You'll be pleased that you called Advanced Computer Repair. Great Country KGRT 570, your home to the Bulldawgs Trojan Hockey Night Radio Network, presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
So La Cueva's cut it to 7 again with 4 minutes to play in the game. The Bulldogs have their hands team in there expecting an onside kick.
Defense now is their offense, but in fact it turns out that the Las Cruces only defense is their offense.
Now La Cueva has really played an outstanding second half with a total different approach than they came out to start the game in.
And it wasn't something I remember Coach Miller talking about on the pregame show, that particular set and formation.
First and 10 for Cruces at the Cruces 20-yard line. 4 minutes to play in the game. The Bulldogs lead by a touchdown. Miller fakes a handoff and keeps. Cantwell takes him down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Cameron staying down. Cantwell celebrating the hit a little bit as Miller slow in getting up. Second down and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 20-yard line. Miller has 88 yards rushing on 11 carries tonight on the Uno stat update.
He got popped, guys. Absolutely popped. I don't know that he's quite right now.
3:30 to play in the game. The Bulldogs lead it by 7. Second and 10 for Cruces at their own 20-yard line. 3 wide receivers for the Bulldogs on second and 10. And here comes a corner blitz. Miller to pass. Miller fires right on the money to McIntyre. He has it brought down in midfield. Flags fly in the secondary. Right now it's a gain of 30, pending the marker.
McIntyre lined up on the left-hand side, went down about 15, and then crossed across the middle. And perfect pass from Cameron Miller. Let's see if it stands.
Bulldogs are saying it's against La Cueva. We'll see if, in fact, they're not leading us astray. Holding in the secondary against La Cueva. I'm sure they'll decline it after a 30-yard strike from Miller to McIntyre. 296 yards passing and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions for Miller tonight.
After a big first down stop by La Cueva.
Yeah.
But as I say, the Cruces offense gives them their best chance now because it keeps La Cueva's offense off the field.
3:12 and counting to play in the game. 42-35 Las Cruces.
And La Cueva has all 3 timeouts left, so Cruces is going to have to keep moving those chains.
First and 10 from the midfield stripe. Ball right in the middle of the field on the Field of Dreams logo. Miller out of the gun. Hands off to Molinar, straight up the gut. Has some running room. Brought down at the 42 of La Cueva. And that's a gain of 8. Whistles blow, and La Cueva takes a timeout. We'll take it to 2:44 to play in the game. Cruces by 7. Back after this.
Advanced Computer Repair has 25 years of experience working with computers, licensed with both Microsoft and Apple, and carrying all necessary certification for installation and repair. You can either bring your computer to the shop or have an on-site visit. Advanced Computer Repair can do virus removal and tune-up for only $89, and a diagnostic analysis.
I haven't seen a Mayfield update.
Advanced Computer can also do network
I haven't
setup
been
or
looking
even build a
because this game
computer
got
to
good.
suit your purposes. Stop by Advanced Computer Repair at 951 North Solano or call 522-5602. You'll be pleased that you called Advanced Computer Repair. Great Country, KGRT 570, your home to the Bulldawgs Trojan Hockey Night Radio Network, presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Welcome back. Jeff Matthews along with Greg Berry and Brad Beasley at the Field of Dreams. Both teams 1-0, Cruces and La Cueva, who have played some storied matchups throughout the years in the playoffs. Both have won their share of state championships around New Mexico, and we've had a good ball game tonight, a good skirmish as Las Cruces leads it by 7, trying to milk it away. 2nd and 2 for Cruces at the La Cueva 42 with 2:44 to play in the game. Bears bring a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage. Miller pitches it to Molinar, hunting for a hole, finds a seam, squirts through for a first down at the La Cueva 35-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and they'll move the chains. That was the 21st carry for Molinar. He has 123 yards and 2 TDs tonight for Las Cruces High, both in the second half. First down.
And that was kind of a tough situation for La Cueva because they called the timeout on a 2nd and short. You'd like to call a timeout when you've got a stop on first down, so it's 2nd and long, because now the likelihood of converting and making the first down means you kind of wasted that timeout.
So on 1st and 10, the Bulldogs come out in the shotgun, 2 tight ends, receiver to each side, and hand it off to Molinar, swallowed after a 2-yard gain, and they stop the clock immediately, does La Cueva. So the Bulldogs by 7, 2:03, and the clock continuing to roll as the clock keeper did not see them call a timeout, but they did. So they'll put some more time on the clock while we take a break. Bulldogs by 7, back after this.
Update from El Paso. Mayfield, 49. Franklin, 40. Bolnar the carry.
And 8 for Cruces at the Bear 34 with 2:01 to play in the game. And the Bears have just spent a timeout. And there's a Bear down on the play as well. We'll take a break as well. Bulldogs by 7 trying to milk it away, but they're going to be faced with 3rd and long when we come back.
Go ahead.
Okay, an update from El Paso. 49-40 Mayfield leads Franklin. Don't know the time remaining, but Mayfield's up 9 down in El Paso, and a great battle down there. We have a good one here as well. Greg, take it away.
Well, of course, now if Cruces can move the chains, because although the scoreboard says one more timeout for La Cueva, I'm sure that they've used 3 on this drive, so they're going to be out. So if the Cruces Bulldogs can, in either third down or fourth down, get the first down, they should be able to pretty much put this game asleep as long as they don't fumble.
Just got an update from El Paso. Franklin has scored with 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Mayfield 49, Franklin 47.
First one to 60 wins.
Yeah, they got a whole quarter to play down there.
First one to 70 wins.
We may have time to go down and catch the end of it. 2:01 remains to be played here. The Bulldogs, I think, can run 2 plays here without a stoppage, Brad, even if they don't get a first down, because La Cueva, I think, is out of timeouts, but the scoreboard says they have 1.
Yeah, they've used 3. They used 1 on that second and short, and they've used 2 on this series as well.
So it's 3rd down and 8 for Cruces at the La Cueva 34-yard line. Miller will keep coming left. Miller's got the 30. Miller's got the 25. He stepped out of bounds, but he has the first down. It'll stop the clock, but they got the chains to move after a gain of 11.
Yeah, I don't think the Bulldogs here want to go in kneel-down mode, but even if they did, they could run off most of the time on that clock. But I think they want to try to get 1 more first down.
If you're just tuning in, it was all Cruces early. Cruces led 14-0 at the end of the first quarter and 28-7 at the half. But La Cueva outscored Cruces 14-0 in the third, and that made it 28-21 Las Cruces, and it's been a close game ever since. Cruces has never trailed, and they have it 1st and 10 at the La Cueva 23. A minute 54 to play in the game, and La Cueva's out of timeouts, we believe. Now we got a whistle. Timeout Cruces. So Cruces takes the timeout here. I think we've got all our business done. We'll keep it here. Brad, how about that game down in El Paso? 49-47 Mayfield, and a whole quarter to go.
Well, I think we said at halftime that really Mayfield probably had to score 3 more times. Probably need to get to 60 points to kind of feel halfway, I don't want to say comfortable, but that's where they need to be. And they've scored once. I still think they need to score probably 2 more times. If they're just starting the fourth quarter, there's probably a ton of yards going on in that game, and obviously because they're playing the NCAA rules down there, the clock's stopping all the time, and so they probably still have another hour to play down there. So you're right, we probably could drive down and catch the last 3 minutes of that game. So it just shows that Mayfield's got some pretty good offense. We know Franklin's good, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next week.
Well, it was a tough decision. We usually stick around here if we can. Brad's got a real job. But
despite what my employees say, I do have a real job.
Right now, I wish we were down there, but this has been a good one as well. La Cueva really has come to play, and Cruces trying to pull away here. Pitch to McIntyre. McIntyre into the stack, stood up, now driven back, just trying to make sure he holds onto the ball and the clock runs. Gets to the 22 for a gain of a yard as he takes over for Molinar, at least on that carry. And the clock rolls, and La Cueva can't do anything about it now, down 7 with a minute 32 and counting to play in the game.
So you expect Cameron Miller to keep his eye on the deep official, and when he starts to move his hands, meaning the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before the clock expires, that's when they'll snap the ball.
Well, we talked about the differences in Texas rules and New Mexico rules. Most of the stadiums in El Paso have play clocks. Here, they just have the back judge do it in New Mexico, and he's into the count now. 2nd down and 8, pitch to McIntyre, sidesteps a tackler in the backfield across the 20, keeps battling to the 17 for a gain of 5. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for Cruces as we hit the 52-second mark to play in the game.
Well, when the Bulldogs need somebody to make a play, they look at number 22, Isaiah McIntyre. Now they're bringing him to the sideline here because he's been a workhorse either as a receiver. Now he's going back in the game because I think Coach Miller and Coach Lopez want him to have the football.
I think they could take a knee, and that would be the ball game. We'll see if they do. Yep, they're in the victory formation on 3rd down and 4. Cameron takes a knee with 23 seconds to play in the game. Scoreboard says La Cueva has a timeout. The players are trying to convince their coaches to take it, but they know they're out of timeouts. The coaches do. The referees maintain that down on the field. The scoreboard, in this case, on timeouts is not the official indicator. So that'll do it. Las Cruces hangs on to win in an exciting battle at the Field of Dreams. Las Cruces 42, La Cueva 35 on the Jack Key Motor Group scoreboard. Stay tuned, everybody. Our Allen Theaters post-game show comes your way next. Bulldogs win it 42-35 over La Cueva. Back after this.
All right, Coach, great victory tonight over a quality La Cueva team. What did you guys do this game that won you guys the game?
Well, you know, we were up big 28-7 and a half. You got to give them a lot of credit. They went double tight, double wing, and, you know, got some big passes on us and, you know, took advantage of our freshman corner. But, you know, that's a learning thing. You know, you got to give our kids a lot of credit coming back. That game, you got to give a lot. They got a lot of talent. You know, they did what they had to do to stay in the game, and we did what we had to do to win the game. And I give a lot of you know, credit to our kids. Give credit to La Cueva. They didn't ever quit. They were down by 21 points, and they came through. But you know, we hung on for the win.
And the past 4 seasons, you had the privilege of having
everybody gets their turn, you know, and it's Cheeto's turn now. You know, we had the Halls back there. We had, you know, it just goes on and on and on. And Cheeto's taking that step, and now he knows it's his turn, and he's been doing a great job for us.
All right, Coach, you're 2-0 to start the season. How do you think the rest of the season is going to go?
Well, we got to take every game one at a time. You know, we got a great schedule. We got Volcano Vista next week, and it doesn't get any easier. So you know, we got to get better. We can't give up the big play. We got to get better this week and go on the road next week and try to pull out a victory.
All right, Coach. Good luck next week. Coach Miller, Las Cruces High School victorious tonight over La Cueva.